Welcome to the Miracles in Wellness podcast. My name is Clarissa and I'm a holistic coach and beauty expert. I'm here to empower and motivate you to improve your health and lose weight by adding more whole plant foods into your lifestyle. In addition, kick stress to the curb. So be open to receive because I believe that miracles are for everyone. Hey there, friend. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Do you ever wonder how much control you actually have over your health? I mean, because sometimes one day you're just perfectly fine, going about your day, then something happens, you go get a checkup, and next thing you know, you're on medication. And you're like, what happened? It's just accumulative of all the things you've done in your life. Your food, your lifestyle, hormones, just all the things, right? There's just like so much stuff that people are always telling you that you need to do. And you're just like, why can't things just be a little bit more simple? But when you think about it, when you just take one day at a time, you do have an adequate amount of control over some of the things that happen in your life, right? So a lot of these diseases are lifestyle diseases. So that means we kind of do it to ourselves, sis. We kind of do, because it's always good to enjoy life. Sometimes we're enjoying a little too much sometimes when you think about it, right? And you are so worth it to stick to just some nutrition principles, right? And, there's no set in stone thing because we're all unique and we're all different. And what works for one person will not work for the other. So that's just that fine tuning there about just learning how to listen to your body and just feel it, right? And sometimes you know it. Like sometimes you might be somewhere and be like, I shouldn't eat this. And then you go do it anyway. Then it's like, whoops, I knew, because you might not be feeling that good. So just paying attention to that and just being in tune with yourself. Like you are so in tune with your kids and taking care of them, but you also need to give that love to yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, if we're taking care of them, they still need us, right? So we need to be in an up-nose top performance, right? And it's best not to wait until you start having symptoms. You want to nip it in the bud now, or at least try to stop and reverse it, right? Doing whatever part you can do because you want to try your best to live a healthful lifestyle for yourself, for your kids, all the things, right? Because look at their little faces. They love you, and they look to you for all the things. And then, if anything, they're going to copy your behavior. Even if you tell them to do X, Y, and Z, if they don't see you do it, they're going to be like, well, she's not doing it, so I'm not going to do it, right? Because if you're telling them to hey, eat your vegetables and all those things that we tell our kids, right? But if you're not doing it, why do they have to do it? Honestly, they don't, because you're not doing it. When you think about it, they're going to be like, well, mommy's not doing it. So what I got to go down that path for? So that's something to think about at one. Not to make you feel guilty or anything, just to make you be aware, right? I just want you to be mindful of your activities and everything that you're doing from day to day, right? That's what it's about. Because things are going to happen. We already know that. But just be mindful of all those things, right? And then a lot of times when you have one condition, it's usually coupled with something else. You either find out then or you find out later. Because you don't want to be on 4 or 5 medications if possible. Now, it's different for everybody. Do not go jumping off your medication because you listen to this podcast, all right? You talk to your doctor, get all the things you need to do in order, all right, my love? But on that note, something we most definitely do have control over is what we put in our body. Not to be obsessing about food, but just to enjoy our food, right? Just trying to formulate a more healthy relationship with food. Sometimes we have a distorted relationship with it that might have happened over the years, and that's okay. You can take one step at a time, one day at a time to work on that. Then that also goes back to when I like to talk about stress and things that are going on internally that we have to tend to, because a lot of times we want to push it down. We want to push it down because we're like, when people say, it'll be all right, get over it, yada, yada, yada. No, work on it. Talk about it. Find a circle. Find a community that will give you that love and that support to help you work through it, right? It's always good to talk to people and get whatever that is out, right? So that we do work on the next level, right? Having a good relationship with food. We got to do the internal stuff first, right, sis? We got to do that. And you owe it to yourself for so many reasons, right? Because then we can work on this food thing, okay? Food is the cause of and should be the solution for so many things. The high blood pressure, the cholesterol for sure, right? It's just like this little thing. The food on your plate has so much capability to either feed disease or fight disease. And there's so much truth to that statement when you think about it. How many times have you talked to somebody that had heart disease that changed their food intake, right? And they started eating more whole foods, and then they was able to heal themselves, right? Their body just goes to work for you. Your body is there to love you and to nurture you. As you nurture others, your body nurtures you, right? See how we all work that together? A society of love, right? So think about filling your plate up with more unrefined, unprocessed carbohydrates, right? That will be high in water and fiber, and you get that vitamins and the minerals, all that yummy stuff your body needs. And it's automatically going to be lower in calories, right? So you don't need to even worry about counting the calories, right? When you just look at that food that you're eating, some fruit, those veggies, whole grains, legumes, all of these things, right? See, it's going to help your blood vessels become a little bit more smooth and less inflamed, right? And it just goes to work for you, okay? And then on top of that, a bonus is that you start reducing body fat. Now we know that's a win, just off the jump. It's just a win, right? And depending on where you are, depends on how you want to handle that. So you can go all in and just go 100%, or maybe you want to start out slower, right? Maybe transitioning into it gradually, starting with like 80% or 90% whole food plant-based, But you don't want to have that cause you stress, right? What you're eating should not be stressing you out. It's food, right? It's there to nourish your body, your soul, all those things, right? Sitting there at the table with your loved ones, or maybe you're by yourself. Maybe it's a break. Maybe you're sitting outside, whatever it is, right? It shouldn't stress you out. But at the end of the day, it is up to you. It's up to nobody else, right? It's up to you. Because at this point, you're grown. So you're feeding yourself, okay? So you can't technically blame anybody else, sis, okay? And then if, say, you're used to eating high-fat foods and you're ready to go in, your palate will ultimately adjust. Just give yourself time. Because if you're so used to consuming that high-fat, sugar, and salty foods, your body's kind of used to that. So just give yourself the chance to enjoy the natural taste of the food that you're eating, right? Because say you have a sweet tooth and you're used to eating lots of sweets, processed foods, whatever it is, cookies, candies, whatever the thing is for you. You will notice once you give yourself a break from that and you start eating fruit, you will enjoy the sweetness. Some of the fruit you'll be like, whoa, this is really sweet. And maybe you didn't notice it, right? Or maybe you do know that fruit is sweet, but you're just gravitating towards the other one. Just give yourself that moment. And for one, try not to have it in the home, right? And if you have, say you have your kids or family members and they want to eat sweets, put it somewhere else, right? Do you have like a fridge in your garage or something like that? Put it out the way so that it's not in your immediate environment, so that it's less tempting, right? Because if it's there, if it's like sitting on the counter, what do? Just pick it up. Like eating some nuts, right? Who eats 1 to 2 nuts? It's just not going to happen. You can go all in on those nuts, right? But at the end of the day, there's just multiple studies on how eating a plant-based diet will help you and improve your health. Just all the things, right? Just give it a try. Then you might be like, well, how can I do this? It just seems so hard. It's not. Just think about it, okay? There is vast more plant foods out there to eat than animal products, for one. And then when you have to compare it to your livelihood, it's just going to be a win to begin with. It just might be that you are used to eating a certain way because you've ate that way your whole life, right? And so you just might think that you have to eat certain products, certain food, and you don't. You have the free will to change those things, right? You just have to have faith and have strength. And you can ask God for that as well. And then also finding help along the way is also beneficial, all right? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Now, I was working with somebody. I always ask permission and talk to people before I share stories, even though I still don't give anybody's name. I just do that anyway out of respect and privacy. But I was working with somebody, she was super sweet, and she was struggling with trying to lose the weight. She had a significant amount of weight she wanted to lose. She had high blood pressure, back pain, and, she had just tried all the fad diets, but she tried to do plant-based, but for a short period of time, but it was mostly just like vegan processed food, things of that nature. And then when we started working together, we had to work on her stress levels because she's an attorney, and so she would get super stressed out. So we just had to find ways to implement some mindful practices into her day. and implementing a workout routine, we started out slow. But just the fact that you move your body every day is so beneficial to you. And it breeds happiness when you think about it, when you just get out and start moving. But then that fine piece there was when she was able to start changing up her plate a little bit, right? Instead of being like, go all in and just go 100% plant-based, she just started adding more and more plants onto her plate little by little. Then one day she completely went plant-based. But even throughout this time, we noticed an improvement in her health, right? And over time, now she's off her medication. It's just amazing what just we can do with our lifestyle. You can have your miracle. You can, right? But you also have to believe it, because you cannot go around doing X, Y, Z if you don't believe it, because your mind is so powerful, right? You have to believe that the change is going to happen. You have to believe that you're going to transform, and that you have to have guidance from God as well. Because if you are feeling down, just being like, hey, I need some help down here, and he'll send it to you. It might not even be where you think it'd be coming from. It could be coming from an outside source. You could just be walking somewhere and somebody will deliver that message to you that you need, right? But you still have to be open to receive it. Sometimes people don't want to change, because when you got to go through changes, sometimes what happens, you start getting uncomfortable. But that's when all the transformations start to happen, sis. That's when everything starts to go. You need to be uncomfortable sometimes, right? Once you get on the other side, it's just beautiful. Just get into that other side. You'd be like, that's where that magic happens. Yes, that's where it comes. And don't tell yourself it's going to be hard or it's not going to be fun. Paint yourself a better picture in your head, right? Think about the outcome. Think about that future that you want, right? That longevity. So you can see your kids getting older, all the things, or your grandchildren, right? Because family's important, right? Or whatever that thing is for you, because it's different for everybody, right? You want to be happy now, not when something happens, because life is a journey, period, okay? It just is. So you want to be happy during the process at all times, whatever you're going through. It makes it so much simpler. And then when you're happy about it, it happens just like that. You'd be like, wait, did time pass by that fast? You ever say that to yourself? You think back about something, you'd be like, man, that just felt like yesterday. But it's like, it technically has been a long time, but it just feels short. That's life. So why not enjoy it? Don't make this well-being and this weight loss thing be stressed out. There's enough other stressors that we got to work on inside. So something like this, let's simplify it. Do it with love and happiness, okay? So basically, you influence your happiness. That's it. It's just that simple. You got it. Sis, you got that power for all the things, okay? That crown is really there. Now you got to wear it with a smile, though. You got to smile, all right? You don't have to have my bubbly energy. Oh, you could, because it's good. I love life. But if you wake up and you're like, man, I'm just don't feel it today, because, we all have those days. You'd be like, this bed feels so good. I just want to get out of it, Just think about what you could do to bring a smile to your face, or just even if you're just sitting there and quiet, being happy inside. That's what it all is, just being happy inside. And a lot of times you're happy inside, you're just smiling, right? Yeah. And then when you smile, somebody else smiles. It's like contagious. It's all energy is contagious. You ever talk to somebody and they kind of in a mood, and next thing you know, you find yourself in a mood and you wasn't in that mood. So you can be happy, make other people happy. Energy is so powerful. Right? A random act of kindness, right? And then just thinking about others, right? Doing something to make somebody else happy. Sometimes then you stop thinking about whatever that is that was on your mind, right? That's just the thing. But there's so many different ways that could help you. Even if you need to sit in a meditation, maybe you want to go for a run or go to the gym, or just talking to a therapist, or just talking to your friends or your family members, whatever that is, right? It can help get something else out, right? Just doing whatever that needs to do to bring that happiness to you. Because then all the other things flow, right? They just flow. When you stop thinking about it all hard, it just makes it easier for you, right? You ever notice that? You should be super stressed out about something. And then you just take a moment, be like, okay, let me sit back. And then doing that, and then just finding a way to get recentered. Then you can go back and do whatever it is. And sometimes it's a lot better. Yeah. And it's going to be like that, but your wellness journey too. And just be grateful that you do have access to the food that you have access to, because not everybody does, right? That's a real thing. So if you are able to go to the store, to the market, or wherever you need to go to buy this food, you could do that, right? That's a form of gratitude, being grateful for that, or just being grateful for every little thing, right? You could be like, I'm grateful that I found out that I need to lower my numbers. I'm grateful for that because now I know that I could do the necessary steps. What's my next step? That's a moment to be grateful for, because if you didn't know, you didn't know. Or you're grateful that today I realize that I do want to lose weight because I don't want to become diabetic. You're grateful that you just noticed that. Whatever it is, you can turn everything into a moment to be grateful. There's always a way. There's always a thought that you could flip. There's always something. Because in the day, you're still here. And if that's nothing to be grateful about, I don't know what is, sis. You listen to this, okay? You listen to this, or you share this with somebody that needs to hear this, because you are here. And that's one of the most wonderful things, because nothing is promised. So each breath, each second is a chance to recommit to whatever it is that you want, and knowing why you want to do it. Just always know that you have that power within you, and you are so blessed. And I so enjoyed our time together today, and I would love for you to share this episode out with somebody who you know it might help. All right, until next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for coming by. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe on your favorite platform, and also don't forget to leave a written review, as well as share this episode. That's how we spread the message.